TNA is officially on the road to sacrifice. The world champion Mike Santana wants revenge. Steve Macklin might be getting reinstated. The knockout division suddenly has half the roster circling the champion. And Leon Slater just pinned another former world champion to keep his X Division title reign alive. But the real story of this episode is that several different rivalries just started moving at once, and sacrifice is beginning to take shape. Welcome to the T-Drop, strong brew, no soft behavior. This week's TNA Impact wasn't about huge matches, it was all about getting the table set for sacrifice. New challengers, new rivalries, and one champion who might have just made a dangerous mistake. So let's break it down. We have the opening match, which is a knockouts title match between Adriana Grace and Jody Hart. Grace jumps threat before the bell even rings. Stacks interferes early. Threats get knocked off the top rope, but the real story isn't the match itself. It's who is watching. So this match gets done. It gets quickly settled and everything. You have the champ retaining. But the real story, even though I don't have a picture of it, is one by one, knockouts start appearing around the arena surrounding Ariana Grace, setting up what could potentially be in the future for her. You see Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, Myla Moore, Indy Hartwell, Zia Brookside, Li Ying Lee, Danny Luna. Half the Knockouts division is suddenly scouting the champion. The match itself is fairly straightforward. Threat makes a comeback with a released German suplex and a Michkunku driver. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. But Grace targets Threat's injured ribs. A quick roll-up later. Grace retains the Knockout Championship. The match was sold. It wasn't spectacular, but it was sold. But the visual of the entire division watching her from ringside, that's a real story right there. A potential exciting one if they do it right. Because it makes it feel like the champion now has a target on her back wherever she goes. Now the highlight for some for this week. Elegance brand chaos. It's like wherever they show up each week, there's chaos. And we get a return from ODB. We get a strange but entertaining segment, I guess. The Elegance brand comes to the ring to talk. Their spokesperson claims Ash isn't here for mental health reasons, which is immediately presented as completely untrue. Then they start insulting the crowd, including celebrity guests, the cast of Mama June. So in case you don't know Mama June, they were the mother was part of something Tiaras with Honey Boo Boo, whatever. So I guess the mother now has her own show called Mama June, and she hangs out with friends. I guess it's a different take on, I don't know, the Real Housewives. I don't know. I don't watch the show, but it's a show that shows, I think, on Real TV or whatever, which is owned by AMC. So obviously that's the reason why they show it up. They're pulling a WWE, AEW promoting shows of the broadcasting partner. Fair enough. That's when ODB appear, who's right over there. ODB says that Elegance Brands has been disrespecting people, including Mickie James, and she's not going to let it slide. Then ODB pulls out drinks. Nobody's entirely sure what they are, because it's supposed to be drinks, but it looks not like drinks. But she and the Mama June crew dump these drinks all over the Elegance brand, which sends the champions running. It's ridiculous. This whole segment is ridiculous. It's chaotic. ODB Chaos segment have always been part of TNA's identity, so it's a very welcoming thing to see back in TNA. We get a 4-way tag chaos. We find out who will be the #1 contender for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Championship, not ships. We got the challengers include the team of The System, The Righteous, Sinner and Saint, and BDE and Rick Swan. The match moved fast. We had springboard dives, super kicks, choke slams, hurricanranas, bodies flying everywhere. Rick Swan nearly wins with a super hurricanrana, but eventually the big powerhouse Beer Bronson drops BDE with a brutal pile driver, and the System wins. So they will challenge the tag team champs. Probably is going to happen as Sacrifice. But we don't know that for sure. We will see. Honestly, this is the right call. They're supposed to be the dominant heel faction right now, the System. And putting them back into the title contention helps restore their credibility. And potentially more storylines once they get the tag belts. I think they're going to get the tag belts when the time comes for them. So, can't wait to see their next match. Now, things get weird in the best TNA way possible. We get a backstage segment, which I don't have an image of. Rosemary appears in a dark room surrounded by shadows. She talks about the fall of Decay. She says she failed to control the realm she once ruled. But there still may be a way to fix things. She begins writing a list. Later, we see her offer a mysterious contract to Carlos Silva. He signs it. A monster appears in the doorway, and Rosemary reveals something called Project Lazarus has begun. One down, 6 more to go. So we get a supernatural TNA style storytelling, which has been done in the previous years. We'll see if it pans out in this new era of TNA. And honestly, it's probably something that it'll help the show, given it's TNA, and probably some people are expecting this, but we will see. Moose has his own segment. We hear from Moose. Moose enters the arena nets with Alicia Edwards. Moose says the System calls themselves a family, but families don't stab each other in the back. He challenges them one by one, street fights, starting with Cedric Alexander next week, then Bear Bronson, and finally Eddie Edwards. Moose wants revenge, and he plans to dismantle the System piece by piece. Well, they're supposed to get tag team opportunities, so hopefully not anytime soon. We get nuts another Elena Black match, and this time against Mara Sade. We get Sade has quietly become one of the more interesting new knockouts in TNA. She nearly wins this match after a missile drop kick, but Elena Black plays dirty. As she should. She's a damn heel. She better. She grabs a chair to distract the referee, then uses brass knuckles to knock Sade out. And then Black steals the victory. The interesting thing here, though, is both wrestlers have potential. Sade feels like someone who could become a star. Black feels like someone who should already be one, but hasn't quite reached that level yet. Let's talk about this back in June. I'm giving her a few more months. She should be fine. She'll be fine. We get a King's Speech segment from Frankie Kazarian. He hosts the King's speech segment again. His guest is Elijah. Kazarian mocks Elijah for never winning a championship in TNA. The tension builds, but before things explode between these two during this segment, AJ Francis storms in. He attacks a local hometown man and chokeslams him off the stage into a group of people below. Yeah, that happened. The segment turns into pure chaos, which honestly sums up TNA's energy in the past couple of weeks when it came to their show. We get an X Division title match. This is the main event match for the X Division Championship. Leon Slater defends against former world champion Nick Namath. Namath starts aggressive, neckbreaker eye racks, and a famouser for near fall, but Slater keeps fighting. He hits a standing blue thunder bomb, then a Styles Clash. Namath nearly steals it though with a super kick, but Slater finally lands a Swanton 450, 1, 2, 3. Leon Slater retains. This is another huge win for Slater. He has pinned multiple former world champions during his title reign. And it feels like TNA is clearly positioning him as one of their future cornerstones stars in the future for TNA. But the celebration doesn't last long. Eric Young runs out. He's a future challenger for him since he won the briefcase. He attacks Slater and plans him with a brutal plow driver on the floor. Young might have just declared himself as the next challenger. We're probably going to get that at the next pay-per-view. Finally, the world champion Mike Santana comes to the ring. Santana doesn't waste time. He gets all on the promo. He calls out Steve Maclin. Maclin attacked him a few weeks ago. If you haven't checked it, check our previous TNA video about it. And Santana wants Maclin reinstated so he can fight him properly. But before that can even happen, authority figure Terry Ray agrees Maclin will be reinstated. But she decides when they fight. Then Santino Marella appears and makes it official. Mike Santana versus Steve Maclin at Sacrifice. Santana says that's fine, but the violence starts next week. And that's how the show ended. The episode of Impact had its huge moments. But it wasn't just about that. It's about building the next chapter of TNA for the next coming weeks. The Knockout division circling the champion, Leon Slater continuing proving he is the future of the X division. Eric Young just entered the title picture. And Mike Santana is about to go to war with Steve Maclin. Sacrifice is coming and TNA just started lighting the fuse. So let me know your thoughts in the comment. What did you think about this show, this week's TNA show? Was it great? Was it mid? Are you excited for the next pay-per-view Sacrifice? Let me know in the comments and we will talk on the next TNA segment.